Prologue, the Song of Nuwa. In the beginning, before mountains lifted their peaks and before rivers carved their paths, the heavens were silent. Stars shimmered like scattered jewels, yet no voice, no laughter, no story stirred the void. It was Nuwa, the goddess with the body of a serpent and the face of a woman, who grew weary of silence. Her hands, delicate yet strong, molded rivers and raised mountains. She bent her will to shape valleys and skies, filling them with the songs of birds and the footsteps of beasts. But when she listened, her heart remained unsatisfied. Who will tell the river's tales when they flow to the sea? She wondered. Who will remember the mountains when they crumble into dust? Who will dream beyond my dreams? And so, on the banks of a river shining like liquid jade, Nuwa knelt. She dipped her fingers into the clay and began to shape. Chapter 1: The First Breath. The clay was cool beneath her fingers, soft yet stubborn. With patience, she molded arms and legs, chest and face. The form was small compared to mountains, fragile compared to rivers. Yet Nuwa's eyes glowed with pride. When she breathed into the clay, the world shifted. Air rushed, rivers stirred, birds took flight. The form quivered, trembled, and opened its eyes. The first human blinked. Vision was a storm of color. The blue of the sky, the green of reeds swaying, the glint of water. He raised his hands, staring at the fingers Nuwa had crafted. His breath came like a whisper, alive. Nuwa's voice was gentle, yet vast as the heavens. Yes, little one, you are my child, the first of your kind. He touched the ground, then the water, then his own face, wonder blooming in his chest. Why? He asked. Nuwa smiled, stroking his brow with fingers of light. Because the world is too quiet. Because even gods need voices other than their own. The first human bowed his head, clay skin glowing with new warmth. Then I will speak. Chapter 2: The Gift of the World. Nuwa walked with the first human across the newborn land. She showed him mountains draped in clouds, rivers winding like silver serpents, forests alive with whispering leaves. This is your home, she said. Walk it, learn it, shape it. It is vast yet fragile. Guard it well. The first human touched the soil, scooping it into his hands. He pressed it tight, shaping a small figure clumsily. He laughed, a sound that startled even himself. Like you shaped me, he said, showing it to her. Nuwa's eyes softened. Yes, but unlike me, you may shape for your own reasons. That is your gift, the freedom to choose. The words burned bright in his heart. Freedom to choose. He wandered then, marveling at rain, tasting fruit, tracing stars with his gaze. At times he fell, at times he laughed, but always he rose, for every step was his own. Chapter 3: The Shadow of Kuin. But not all welcomed this new life. Far in the abyss where light faltered and waters churned endlessly dwelled Kuin, a giant of chaos, said to be larger than mountains, his form shifting between fish, beast, and storm. Where Nuwa created, Kuin consumed. Where she sang harmony, Kuin howled discord. From the depths he saw the fragile figure walking the land and sneered. A child of clay? Weak, breakable. And yet Nuwa crowns him with choice? Foolish goddess. Choice is a seed of rebellion. Clay belongs in the riverbed, not on the throne of will. That night, when the first humans slept beneath stars, a tremor shook the ground. The river swelled, waves rising higher than trees. The water darkened, and a voice like 1,000 storms whispered through the current. Little figure of mud, you are no more than dust. Why pretend to be more? The first human stirred, fear freezing him, yet curiosity held his tongue. Who speaks? The river bubbled, forming eyes vast as moons. A mouth opened, stretching across the horizon. I am Kuin, chaos, the storm beneath order, the end that mocks beginnings. The human trembled. Why do you seek me? Kuin's laughter shook the world. Because you are fragile, and fragile things break. Chapter 4: The First Defiance. The human rose, clay skin damp with river mist. His voice was small yet steady. Nuwa gave me life, She gave me freedom. I will not bow. The waters raged higher. Freedom, Kuin sneered. You are shaped, molded. Your will is nothing but her design. You think you choose, but every step is in the print of her hand. The words pierced deep. The human faltered, staring at his palms, at the lines carved into clay. Am I truly free, or only clay that believes itself so? But then he remembered Nuwa's smile, the way she said, shape for your own reasons. He lifted his head. I am clay, yes, but I walk because I choose to walk. I speak because I choose to speak. Even if she shaped me, the steps are mine. Kuin's roar cracked trees, sent birds scattering. The river struck like a serpent, waves crashing against the shore. But the human planted his feet, refusing to flee. For the first time in creation, a mortal defied chaos. Chapter 5: Echoes of Doubt. After Kuin's roar faded, silence draped the land. The first human sat beside the river, the water still trembling from the giant's presence. Nuwa returned, her serpent's body coiling gracefully as she approached. She saw the weariness in his eyes, the clay cracks along his arms. You have heard him, she said. The human nodded. He says I am only clay, that my freedom is an illusion. Nuwa's gaze softened. Even the gods cannot give freedom. They can only give life. What you do with it is yours alone. But how can I know if my steps are truly mine? She bent low, her hair falling like rivers of black silk. Because you ask the question. That is the proof. The human breathed deeply, letting her words sink into him. Still, Kuin's voice lingered in his mind like a storm on the horizon. Chapter 6: The Temptation. That night, as stars glittered like fireflies in the black sky, Kuin returned. His form rose from the waters, shifting. One moment a fish so vast it blotted the stars, the next a beast with horns like mountains. His eyes gleamed like whirlpools. Little figure, Kuin hissed, his voice rolling like thunder. You speak of freedom, but tell me, what has it brought you? Hunger? Fear? You wander alone, weak and small. The human lifted his head. I have wonder. I have joy. I choose to walk the world, to touch the earth, to laugh. That is enough. Kuin's laugh was cruel. Joy? A fragile thing. Let me give you more. Power. Strength. I will flood the valleys, topple the mountains. I will make you a king of ruin. No god, not even Nuwa, will bind you. The human's heart shook. For a moment he saw it. Himself towering above rivers, commanding storms. But then he remembered Nuwa's hands, gentle as she shaped his face. Her voice sang, shape for your own reasons. I will not take your gift, he said. I will walk my path, not yours. Kuin's eyes narrowed. Then you will crawl through dust, and I will break you. Chapter 7: The First Battle. The ground shuddered. Waves rose higher than cliffs, crashing down upon the first human. Trees tore from their roots. Rocks shattered. The human seized a branch torn from an uprooted tree, wielding it like a staff. He struck at the wave, and for a moment the waters split. But Kuin's laughter filled the night as another wave followed. You cannot fight the sea with wood, the giant roared. The human was hurled to the ground, clay flesh cracking, his breath ragged. Yet he rose, gripping the staff once more. I cannot fight the sea, he gasped, but I can stand against it. Again the waves crashed. Again he rose. Each fall carved deeper lines into his body, but each rise made his heart burn brighter. Why do you stand? Kuin thundered. Why not bow? You are nothing, the human shouted back through the storm. Because nothing chose to stand. Lightning split the heavens. The river recoiled, hissing with fury. For the first time, Kuin faltered, his waves shrinking back. Chapter 8: The Dawn of Will. When the storm broke, the first human collapsed, his body battered, cracks running deep through his clay skin. But in his chest burned a fire stronger than before. Nuwa came at dawn, kneeling beside him. She touched his chest, mending his form with her light. You stood against Kuin, she said softly. The human nodded weakly. He wanted me to bow, but I could not. Nuwa smiled. This is the gift I gave you, not to win every battle, but to rise after every fall, to stand even when gods and giants demand otherwise. He sat up slowly, gazing at the horizon where the sun climbed golden. Then let the world know, clay can stand. And so, in that moment, freedom's first cry echoed across the newborn earth. Chapter 9: The Gathering Storm. Days passed, but peace did not return. Kuin's shadow lingered across the horizon, his roars echoing in distant valleys, his floods shaking the rivers. Nuwa warned her child, "He grows restless. You wounded his pride. Now he seeks to unmake what I have made." The first human clenched his fists. "Then I will face him again, not as clay trembling before the sea, but as a will standing firm." Nuwa's eyes gleamed with sorrow and pride. "You may fall, little one. Even gods have fallen before chaos. Then I will fall 1,000 times," he said, "and rise 1,001. She touched his brow, leaving a shimmer of light. "Then go. But no, this battle is not of flesh alone. It is of heart. If your will breaks, he wins." And so the first human walked into the Valley of Storms. Chapter 10: The Voice of Chaos. The sky darkened as he approached. Clouds twisted into spirals. Rivers swelled until they foamed like boiling cauldrons. From the abyss, Kuin rose. He was larger than before, his form shifting between a serpent with jaws wide enough to swallow mountains, a bird whose wings eclipsed the heavens, and a beast whose scales gleamed like storms. His eyes burned green, endless as whirlpools. "So the clay returns," Kuin thundered. "Still pretending to be more than mud?" The human raised his branch staff, though it seemed so small before the giant. "I am not pretending. I am choosing." Kuin's laugh cracked like thunder. "Choice? You think yourself free, yet you obey hunger, thirst, fear. You kneel before Nuwa's hand, for she shaped you. Freedom is a lie, little one. Only chaos is truth." The human's voice rang steady. "If freedom is a lie, then it is the only lie worth living." Kuin roared, and the battle began. Chapter 11: The Battle of Waters and Clay. Waves rose higher than mountains, crashing down with the weight of seas. The human ran, leaping from stone to stone, striking with his staff. Each strike broke waves, but more followed. Kuin's form twisted, jaws snapping like thunderclaps. The human rolled aside, striking at the beast's eye. Water hissed, the giant recoiling with a howl. "You wound me, Speck?" Kuin bellowed. "Then drown in eternity." The river burst, floods racing across the land, swallowing trees and stone. The human clung to his staff, his clay skin cracking, pieces breaking from him. Yet he did not release his grip. He shouted over the roar, "I am more than what made me. I am what I choose." The staff glowed, lit by the fire of will. Each strike split waves. Each cry shook the heavens. The human was battered, broken, but unyielding. Chapter 12: The Shattering Blow. Kuin's rage became desperation. His form swelled into a single monstrous fish, so vast its body blocked the horizon. Its mouth opened, black as night, swallowing rivers, forests, even the sky itself. The human stood upon a single stone, waves crashing at his feet. He raised his staff, every fiber of his being screaming in pain, every crack in his clay burning with fire. "Then if I must break," he shouted, "let me break standing." He leapt, striking into the heart of Kuin's maw. The heavens shook, the earth split, waters exploded outward in a storm that covered the world. For a moment, silence. Then, a scream, vast and endless, as Kuin's form shattered into torrents, scattering across the rivers. The first human fell, his staff broken, his body crumbling. Yet when he struck the earth, he rose again, though cracks laced him like scars. Kuin's voice echoed faintly through the waters. "You have not killed me, chaos never dies, but you have chosen, and that choice wounds me." The waters receded. The sky cleared. For the first time, the world stood calm. Chapter 13: The Price of Standing. The human fell to his knees. His body was frail, lines of cracks spreading deeper, as though he might crumble into dust. Nuwa appeared, her eyes filled with both grief and pride. She knelt, touching his shoulders. You stood against chaos. You defied eternity itself. But you are breaking. The human smiled faintly. If I break, let me break having chosen. Nuwa wept. Her tears fell onto his body, filling the cracks, binding them with golden light. The human gasped, his strength returning, his clay now stronger, as though forged in fire. You will endure, Nuwa said. Not because I will it, but because you willed it first. The human rose slowly, gazing at the rivers now calm, the mountains standing tall, the sky vast and blue. Then let this be the truth, he said. We are not only clay, we are will. We are freedom. Chapter 14, The Quiet After the Storm. The world was hushed. Where once Kuin's rage had drowned valleys and torn the skies, now the rivers flowed gently, their waters clear as crystal. Birds returned to sing in the branches of trees still dripping from the storm. The first human stood upon a hill, staff broken in his hand, golden cracks glowing faintly across his clay body. Each breath came heavy, but steady. Nuwa's voice stirred in the wind. The storm has passed. He is not gone. Chaos never vanishes, but you have pushed him back. The human closed his eyes. He said I was clay, nothing more. Yet I stood. I broke and still I stood. That is enough. Nuwa touched his shoulder. Enough and more. You have taught me, little one. I shaped you to speak, but you taught me that freedom is not given. It is taken. The human looked to the horizon, where rivers shimmered like silver threads. For the first time, he felt the weight of tomorrow and the power to choose it. Chapter 15, The Seed of Humanity. Nuwa gathered more clay, shaping many figures as she had shaped the first. One by one, she breathed life into them. They awoke, blinking at the sky, touching the earth in wonder. They looked to the first human, who stood cracked yet shining. Who are you? One asked. I am as you are, he said, born of clay. But hear this, we are more than what shaped us. We are what we choose. They listened, their eyes widening with awe, and in their hearts a spark caught, the same fire of will that had burned in him. Thus, freedom spread. Chapter 16, Kuin's Whisper. Yet not all was silent. In the depths of rivers, in the shadows of storms, Kuin's voice still stirred. Clay children, he hissed, unheard by most. I wait. I return. Chaos is patient. The first human heard the echo, faint but lingering. He raised his gaze to the stars. Then let him return, he murmured. Every time he rises, we will rise too. Chapter 17, The Eternal Choice. Seasons passed. The people shaped fields, lit fires, built shelters. They laughed, sang, argued, and dreamed. Each step was their own, each word born of choice. And though storms came, though rivers swelled, though fear whispered in the dark, they remembered the one who first defied chaos. The first human, scarred with golden cracks, walked among them, not as a master but as a reminder. We are fragile, we are clay, but clay can stand, clay can choose, and thus the seed of free will grew into the root of all humanity. Moral of the story. The story of Nuwa and the first human teaches that freedom is not a gift, but a choice. Even when shaped by hands greater than ours, even when threatened by chaos and storms, the true power lies in rising after every fall. We are fragile, but it is in our fragility that courage matters most. Free will is not about never breaking. It is about breaking and choosing to rise again. Author's note. This tale draws inspiration from the Chinese myth of Nuwa, the goddess who molded humans from clay, and from the legendary creature Kuin, often described as a chaos being or enormous fish beast. The first human is an imagined figure, a voice through which the myth could be told as a heroic lyrical adventure. His battle with Kuin symbolizes humanity's eternal struggle, not to conquer chaos, but to assert freedom in the face of it. This story is partly myth, partly invention. Its purpose is not historical accuracy, but to offer a journey into the mythic soul of early China, where gods, giants, and mortals together shaped the meaning of being human.